Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. HeirofCarthage here, and I'm glad that you've come back and joined me for another battle. This should be a good one. I'm going to be playing as Tzeentch. I'm going up against Indie Pride, playing the High Elves. So I've had some good battles with him so far, and this is yet another one that is going to be a lot of fun. He has built a rather elite High Elf build, and I commend him for that. That is a tricky build to pull off. When it does work though, it feels very satisfying and can be quite fun. Now, as far as Tzeentch goes, Tzeentch is pretty good at standoff range against other factions, but I was definitely concerned about standing off with the High Elves, mainly because of Sisters of Avalorn. They are tough, and they have all that magical damage that is particularly dangerous to demon units, and sure enough, there are Sisters on the other side here, but because of my fear of getting into a shooting war with the High Elves, I decided to actually be a little bit different, be kind of not Tzeentchy here, and change things up, which I guess is kind of Tzeentchy, and I went a little bit more rushy. It's a playstyle that I feel a little more comfortable with anyway, but I did bring a little bit of range help with these Marauder Horsemen, not much, but I've got some Doom Knights of Tzeentch. I actually brought Sartorial. He can fly now. He is the original fried chicken, but he does now come with wings. Barbecue wings, no doubt. And I also brought the Mutalith Vortex Beast, a new unit, and this thing is a real killer in melee. It is very powerful, kind of has a mortis effect, and it causes terror, so it is a real tough unit. And as far as an infantry line, I brought a lot of shields, because I figured the High Elves could shoot, and if not, the shield comes in handy in melee for defense. But I've got Zangors, I've got Chaos Warriors with shields, and I have a couple of Marauders as well. So everything I've got has some shields. I'm going to have to get into combat quick. We are going to get our faces absolutely shot off at range, and I do have to try and cut through Swordmasters of Hoeth and Tyrion, which is going to be difficult. I do have a little bit of magic to assist me here with Sartorial, so I'm going to put a bit of a bombardment together. Nice dodge there by Indy, not taking all of that damage. But the challenges with an elite build is that you're going to end up with only a few units, and it's going to put you in a very difficult situation. He's got White Lions out here, and as far as his Archer Corps, he's got a Lothern Sea Guard, 2 Sisters, and a Spire Guard of Tor of Rest. Really cool unit here, by the way. This is one of those special units for High Elf Batman. And then he's got another Lothern Sea Guard over here. I like these picks against Tzeentch. They're flexible, and they can be quite good at stopping, lighter units from getting in. So here I am being a little bit annoying with the Marauder Horsemen on the flanks. The Doom Knights, I'm going to come in and go for the Sisters. And I've got to kill the Sisters of Avalorn. And Doom Knights ought to be pretty good, but they're under heavy fire from other units. And so it's going to be a struggle. This nice sword ability there from Tyrion hurting my warriors pretty good. He's got the Pure Main Company over here, which is the Regiment of Renown White Lion. I'm using Sartorial to kind of bounce in here and help cause damage. Hopefully spread terror. Tyrion, at the moment, is actually going straight up with Helbrass here, which is a new character in this DLC as well. And so I wanted to test him out. He actually looks like a melee beast here, and he is doing good to go toe-to-toe with Tyrion right now. I waited a while, but I am going to go ahead and pull in the Mutalith Vortex Beast, and I'm going to bring it all the way up into the archers. I have to disrupt his archer line, and it's tricky because these the Spire Guard and the Lothern Sea Guard really slow me down back here and make things difficult. So it's not making things easy. The Sisters of Avalorn are not a pushover in melee either. I did get a route over here, the Zangors into the Sea Guard. So right now, pretty good for me. I do have another Zangor back here that I'll have to pull back into combat. I'm getting some bombardments, and we've pretty effectively disrupted the High Elf line. And Tyrion is just not really stopping the key units that he needs to here. The Mutalith Vortex Beast is actually really shredding him up a lot worse than I thought it would, since this is a anti-large specific unit, but it is really putting some damage into Tyrion. He just got a heal there, though. But he's also terror routed. I didn't know you could terror out Tyrion. It seems like he would be immune to Psych. Yeah, he got terror routed, so the High Elves are in a bit of disarray. However, you can see that those elite units aren't good for nothing. Look at this, 133 kills on that Swordmaster. The Pure Main picked up 66. I've got a few Zangors and stuff that have come back from routing that I'm going to have to pull back in, and I will see these units. They just kind of got away from me for a moment because they routed early. And of course, I'm also trying to mostly spend my effort keeping these units busy over here. Helbrass has done an outstanding job. He got the initial damage into Tyrion and has just been sitting here helping me tank out a swordmaster, which that's a dangerous unit for him to be up against, but he has a ton of armor, pretty solid defense, and really good attacks. I've been pretty impressed with Helbrass's ability to just be very difficult to kill at the moment, and that has been pretty valuable to me thus far. So Tyrion and Sartorial going head-to-head. Tyrion going to make some fried chicken out of him with the sword. Maybe grilled chicken, I guess, in this case. I don't know why Sartorial is turning his back to him. I guess he just doesn't even want to acknowledge his existence. But I decided to get away from Tyrion. That's probably not the melee that I wish to be in. I had to get a final transmutation off here to try and finish things. And it does finish things, so this Tzeentch build ended up being quite successful for me here. It is difficult to pull off those elite high elf builds, and it's kind of unfortunate that it really is that difficult, because the high elves, I feel like their elite units are really neat. They're great, they're tough units, but it's so hard to use them that it's almost kind of disappointing sometimes, right? Like, I do feel like it would be neat to see some changes that make those high elite builds a little more useful. Like, elite builds in general in this game are difficult because it just makes it so hard to pay any of those back. So like how expensive these swordmasters are, and they got a lot of kills, and they're still just barely covering cost. This White Lion couldn't cover its cost. The Pure Main Company couldn't cover its cost. The Sisters couldn't cover their costs. This Spire Guard, I don't think it quite covered its cost. Tyrion got a lot of damage done. He's a tough character. I was able to get a hold of this mage, though, before it really did much of anything, but you can see how easy it was for me to get the cost in the Vortex Beast. He paid back and then some. Helbrass didn't get a ton of payback here, but did a really good job in the sense that he took down some of Tyrion's life, and he also was keeping those Swordmasters busy. The Doom Knights, again, didn't pay back, but they did help me get into those Sisters, so probably worth it. But, like, look at the Zangors here. Those guys paid back. That wasn't that difficult for them. They did well. Marauders, not so much. Both of these horsemen were a good deal, and then Sartorial did really well here, too. I mean, he got a ton of damage in. That is really nice gold value for Sartorial. I almost forget about him sometimes being available to Tzeentch, and I do like him as a character, especially since he can fly now. That makes him pretty versatile. So anyway, fun battle. Appreciate Indie Pride. I really like the army you put together. The theme of it is really cool. Probably difficult to pull off, but it also makes me glad that I did choose not to stand off and shoot against him, because holy crap, I would have gotten my face shot off, I think, by the Sisters and the other ones. But yeah, that was exactly what I was worried about and why I put together this army. And I wanted to try out Helbrass, and I wanted to try out the Vortex Beast, get Zangors, get some of these newer units on here and let you all see them. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out. I will see you all soon with some more action in Total War Warhammer 3.